With the recent announcement of Persona 4 Revival, I thought it'd be a great idea to show Persona 3 Reload fans a taste of what's to come. What better way to do this than to blitz through the entirety of P3R with the greatest persona known to mankind, Izanagi-no-Okami. I know this has already been done in Persona 5 Royal, but since Reload is the latest mainline entry, I figured let's try something new. Izanagi-no-Okami isn't in Reload technically, however with the help of mods, he's here now. So shout out to CC Sims for creating this mod. Before we start the video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. These are free ways to support my channel that really go a long way, so they are highly appreciated. With that out of the way, let's see how fast our boy can beat this game. So of course, since we truly want to show off Izanagi-no-Okami, we gotta do this on Merciless. Fast forwarding to April 21st, and he's here in all of his glory. For those who don't know, Izanagi-no-Okami comes equipped with Victory Cry, a move that restores HP and SP at the end of each battle, Angelic Grace which gives increased evasion against all non-almighty magic attacks, and lastly, his signature move, Myriad Truths, which does heavy almighty damage to all foes 3 times. Yeah, it's pretty nutty. The only difference here is that for whatever reason, the mod creator made it so that Myriad Truths also knocks down the enemy. My best guess is that it's supposed to make up for Persona 3 Reload not having traits. In Persona 5 Royal, Izanagi-no-Okami has a trait called Country Maker that makes him stronger depending on how much your compendium is filled out. So I'm just going to assume that this is the case here. A big problem for me early on is SP. Myriad Truths here takes 50 SP to use, meaning I only get 1 Myriad Truths per battle until my SP count goes up. Fast forwarding again to May 9th and we're taking on the first full moon boss in the Priestess. The first Myriad Truths nearly takes her out and immediately triggers Invitation to Chaos. I have a Snuff Soul in my pocket that I can use to replenish SP, and I do just that to take her out in just 2 Myriad Truths. In all my challenges, and I say challenge here in quotations since this is hardly a challenge and more of a speed run, I don't buy items or armor. Whatever I scavenge for in Tartarus is what I can use. Also, as for having teammates, Persona 3 Reload doesn't allow you to battle without party members, and guarding every turn with them sounds incredibly boring. So instead, I'll be using my teammates to make Izanagi-no-Okami the strongest he could be, since he wouldn't even be here if it weren't for the bonds created by my glorious king, Yu Narukami. In the Emperor and Empress fight, they literally go down without even being able to attack themselves. It only took 2 Myriad Truths here again. Now at the Hierophant, this one was a little tougher. Instead of only taking 2 Myriad Truths, this one took a whopping 3. The lovers on the other hand actually did offer something other than eating attacks. I had to use up some Snuff Souls in this battle and shake off some Riz, but the lovers went down just like the rest, and after this battle, I'm only 4 hours into the game. My goal is to beat this game in around 15 hours, but it's not a huge goal I'm committing to since this is meant to be a casual video. Before starting the Chariot and Justice fight, we finally unlock Aigis as a party member. Why is this important? Because we finally get our missing piece to fully optimize Izanagi-no-Okami. At level 81, he learns Concentrate, making his Myriad Truths more than 2 times stronger. Yukari is here of course as a medic, but also because her second awakening Theurgy, which she'll get later, also gives Concentrate to the entire party, including Izanagi-no-Okami. Mitsuru is here because she has access to Rakanda, decreasing any enemy's defense, making Myriad Truths hit even harder. Her second Theurgy, which she'll also awaken later in the game, does massive almighty damage, but also acts as a Debilitate which decreases all of an enemy's stats. Pair this with Yukari's Theurgy, and this is beyond massive damage. Aigis is here for buff support. She has access to Mataru Kaja, which increases Myriad Truths even further, and Maraku Kaja, buffing up our already resisting everything defense. Now that the team is complete, I think it's impossible to die like at all. I implement the strategy in the Chariot and Justice fight, and yeah, we're cooking. They aren't allowed to die until after they've been split, so after 3 Myriad Truths, they're at 1 HP and it only takes 1 extra Myriad Truths to finish them off. The Hermit is up now, and this one has given me problems in the past. Surely with Izanagi-no-Okami, I can't lose here, right? Yeah, so there are multiple problems with this battle. The first being, Izanagi-no-Okami doesn't resist ailments. I know there's a skill card I could probably get on him for ultimate domination, but I didn't feel like I needed it, so I ignored that problem entirely. My next biggest problem is that half my team is weak to the same affinity that this Hermit abuses. Because of this, they kept dying, so it was harder to restore my SP and attack. Yukari and Aigis were of no use to me in this battle, but I only use them, so the other members are lower leveled. Except this exact boss takes place around the same time 2 new users join in. Ken is perfect here since he isn't weak to electricity and still excels as a healer. Shinji is another great addition because he's badass and cool. With the new team assembled, the Hermit went down extremely easy in comparison. It was a bit of a grind, but never at any point of the battle was I ever in any real risk. After this battle, I was at around 8 hours, and my goal of sub 15 still seems pretty achievable. If I were to strictly speedrun and only go for mandatory battles, I think I could get this done in around 10 to 11 hours. But I was literally doing this while having YouTube on in the background and just vibing. I even did every Monad door I saw, extending the playtime further. I have to commend every Persona speedrunner, because honestly, this game is boring as shit to speedrun. I can't even imagine doing it without the GOAT as a Persona either. Using Izanagi-no-Okami made Tartarus so much more fun. I mean, using Myriad Truths to one-shot those stupid damn hands was euphoric. But enough of that. It's October 4th and strength goes down with ease. It literally didn't threaten anything at all. Fortune was even less of a problem as we triggered its final fake-out death roulette spin after just 1 turn of attacking. We're finally at the final full moon boss, yet the 2 lovers, happy Pride Month by the way, don't like that I've awakened to something so strong and want to give it up. So I just reveal all and shut them up. Mitsuru died in this battle, but I mean, she isn't the main character, so who cares? I also learned something pretty valuable in this battle. Remember how I mentioned that here, Myriad Truths also downs our enemies? Yeah, the entire game I've been doing all-out attacks after, like any normal person would. But here, I find out that I've been doing it wrong all this time. For you see, and I'll probably be called dumb for this, but whatever, you do more damage to downed opponents. I thought this was only the case when a specific move said, does more damage to downed opponents, but nope. A Myriad Truths to a downed opponent is literally a budget-concentrated Myriad Truths. Yes, it technically costs more SP, but by this point in the game, I've scavenged for so many SP items, it doesn't even matter. I basically have infinite SP. My most hated boss in the game, being the Hangman, becomes much more of a delight to fight. His dumbass angels go down 1, 2, 3, and he gets absolutely shitted on by my attacks. However, in order to restore balance, the easiest fight in the game is no longer easy. I don't know why, but for some reason, Chidori was frying me. Immediately when the battle starts, everybody's dead. Then she confuses me somehow and just starts going to Pound Town on me, venting her frustrations, while I'm just there confused as shit throwing her some loose change. I was literally saved by plot. If this wasn't a scripted battle, my ass would have been cooked. But thankfully it is, and we move on all the way to the fated day. Jin ended up being disgustingly easy despite being a full counter to my party members, and Takaya actually kinda scared me. Not only does he inflict fear, he also drains me of all my SP. Now of course Takaya isn't actually scary as he doesn't keep up the pressure, so he folds like a teddy. But if his AI were to spam that move and force me to use physical moves instead, I might have been cooked. My Izanagi-no-Okami doesn't have a single physical move, so it would have been funny if I had to just attack with regular melee attacks. But that didn't happen and we move on to the game's final boss. Nyx's avatar's first phase goes down in 2 seconds, and it isn't until the Emperor comes out that problems arise. His physical moves do heavy damage and he constantly gets crits. Aside from that, although my teammates died multiple times, my health never went under half until the final form. And holy, I almost peed on myself when I saw that I had 4 health left. Nothing was a problem in this phase except for Apocalypse. There was one moment where I had 6 health left and he had another turn, but instead of attacking, he used Concentrate, which really shows how lenient the AI is in this game. That's not my problem though, and Nyx's avatar is dealt with how he should be, by the Myriad Truths. Sadly, my final runtime for this game was 17 hours and 43 minutes, meaning I didn't reach my goal. But in my defense, I got distracted a lot by my girlfriend since we were watching stuff together while I was doing this, and my favorite baseball team traded our franchise player for a Dr. Neo and a beef bowl. I was in shock for a little, and that definitely took up some time, but all that aside, this was extremely fun and really showed how dominant Izanagi-no-Okami is. I know Saturnile and Reload wasn't nearly as dominant, but I really hope that they keep Ayano's stature in Revival and cement him as the greatest Persona of all time. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I have so many more Persona videos coming in the near future, so all your support is highly appreciated. Lastly, thank you to my sole YouTube member, Zelda Gamer. If you want to support me on here, become a member and I'll shout you out at the end of every video and post updates about the stuff I'm working on weekly. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.